My name is Robert Sumwalt, and I'm a board member with the National Transportation Safety Board. Investigators from the NTSB are just arriving in Charleston. In fact, we arrived about an hour ago. There will be more arriving from Washington in about another hour. So we're all gathering in here to begin the investigation into today's natural gas transmission pipeline rupture in Sissonville. Now, the NTSB, we are an independent federal agency charged by Congress to investigate transportation accidents, to determine probable cause, and then to issue safety recommendations to prevent future accidents. You may be wondering, why is the NTSB here? Those are the people that investigate aviation accidents. We were asked that question on the airplane coming over. In fact, we do investigate aircraft accidents, but we're also charged by Congress to investigate all other modes of transportation involving accidents. That would be highway, marine, railroad, aviation, and pipeline. Pipeline, of course, is a mode of transportation for products, and so that's what Congress has mandated for us to do, is investigate pipeline accidents as well. Before I go any further, I'd like to extend on behalf of the NTSB our concerns for the families and the businesses that have been impacted by this event. Now, again, we're just arriving. We're arriving on different flights. We have not even left the airport, so we haven't even been to Sissonville to examine the site. So the information that I have is factual information as we know it right now. At about 12:41 p.m., a 30-inch interstate natural gas pipeline ruptured under I-77 at the Tuppers Creek Road exit in Sissonville, West Virginia. Natural gas from the ruptured pipeline ignited, and the subsequent fire caused significant damage to several residences and all four lanes of the interstate, which is still currently closed. The flow of gas was stopped at about 1:45 p.m. Now, the preliminary information that we have received from the emergency responders who have been on the scene indicate that all persons have been accounted for and that no injuries have been reported at this time. In addition, we've been advised that no vehicles on I-77 were involved in the event either. The pipeline is owned by Columbia Gas Transmission, and Columbia Gas Transmission reports that the pressure at the time of the rupture was 929 pounds per square inch, and that the maximum allowable operating pressure for the pipeline is 1,000 psi. The NTSB is responding with a 10-member GO team from Washington. The investigator in charge, who will be here in an hour, is Ravi Chartra, and his first name is Ravi. Last name is Chartra, Chhatre. And Mr. Chartra will be leading the team of investigators with expertise in the areas of pipeline operations, fire and explosion, emergency response, and human performance. In addition to our investigative team, we will also have a member from our family assistance specialist from our Office of Transportation Disaster Assistance, and he will be here to provide support for the family members impacted by this accident. Throughout the next few days, our investigators will be on scene to thoroughly document the accident site and to gather factual information. I want to emphasize, we are just in the fact-finding phases of this investigation, and this is just the very beginning of the investigation. Our mission is to determine not only what happened, but determine why it happened, so that we can better understand the factors to prevent accidents like this from happening in the future. while we are here, we're just here to collect the perishable evidence, the information that can go away with the passage of time. That's what we're here to do, is collect and document the perishable evidence. We will be here for about 5 to 7 days, and after we leave here, we will begin thorough analysis and continue to collect facts, but we'll begin looking at things under microscopes and things like that. But while we are here, we will not determine the cause of the accident, and we will never speculate. We will always try to deal with facts. So we're just beginning the investigation. We don't have a great deal of information, but my commitment to you is that we will give you information as we find it. We want to keep you posted, and we will be having additional press briefings. We will have a press briefing tomorrow as we're getting out there, and we'll be out at first light tomorrow, literally at first light, getting out to the scene to get an up close and personal look at the site. And as we learn information, we will be holding a press conference, and that will be announced. You can follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/NTSB. One final comment before I take questions. I'd like to thank those emergency responders who've been working so hard throughout the day to contain the fire and to deal with this situation. Their job is so important, and we appreciate the hard work they've done. I'd be glad to take your questions now.
Sorry, so you have not been to the scene. When do you think you will go first thing in the morning?
We will go first thing in the morning. We'll have a police escort out there at 7:30 tomorrow morning, and we will be there all day long tomorrow.
And you expect to be here 5 to 7 days, you think, or until maybe even longer?
That's right. Again, the mission for being here, the purpose of being here is to collect that perishable evidence, that information that goes away with the passage of time. And once we've collected that information, we can then go back. But we will be, at some point, we will be traveling to the Operations Center for Columbia Gas Transmission to interview the people there involved in the gas control room. We'll be talking to management of that company, but some of that can wait. But right now we want to get out there and look at the damage and document it very carefully. So yes, about 5 to 7 days, but this is just the very beginning of the investigation. Once we leave, there's still an awful lot of work that needs to be done.
Can you give some examples of what you mean by perishable evidence?
Well, basically, it's information that does go away with the passage of time. If, for example, if they're witnesses, we would like to interview them to see, because memory changes over time. We want to get out and look at how the soil has been displaced during the explosion. If it rains, then that can go away with the passage of time. We want to look at the pipe before any oxidation starts to set in. So those are the types of things that I'm talking about perishable evidence.
What is the agenda when you go to the scene tomorrow? Where will you go first? To the interstate, or?
We will be all over that place, but we're going to be particularly interested at the rupture site to try and document that and look at that very carefully. And in a few days, we will send in a metallurgical specialist from our lab in Washington to come and look at it very carefully, to document it with photographic evidence, and then we'll actually probably cut out a section of that pipe and take it back to our lab in Washington so that we can look at it under a scanning electron microscope and really look at it very carefully.
I'm sure the team has seen the photographs and seen some of the video back from the scene. Does that come as a surprise to all of you?
What comes?
The explosion and just what happened there.
Exactly. I was just realizing I wasn't doing that, so thank you. So have we seen the video? And we have. And does the magnitude of the explosion surprise us? And we've dealt with a lot of pipeline accidents in the past, and so we know that when a pipeline explodes, it can be very, very violent. And so it does not surprise us with the magnitude of the fireball.
On some of the other pipeline explosions that you've seen, how does this, is this a big one? Like, how does that rank?
How does this one range? I've only just seen a little bit of the video myself, and so I really can't compare that accurately. But it did, yeah.
Also, you said like the pressure in the gas line was below the maximum before the explosion. Has Columbia told you of any other problems before that they may have had in that area?
So the question is, has Columbia told us of any problems in that area that they may have experienced? And no, we have not spoken in detail to Columbia Gas Transmission at this point. But certainly that is going to be something that we will be doing, and they will be working. We will have their representatives here working with us for the next several days. Yes, sir. Question.
Can you describe what some of the members, the individuals of your team, I'm sure it's a very diverse team, just in a nutshell, what some of them will be doing and what they do?
Yeah, so what will the members, the representatives on our various groups, what will they be looking at? For example, pipeline operations. They will travel to the gas control center to talk to the pipeline operators to find out what values were being presented on the control center, and to interview those people involved in actually controlling the product through the pipeline. We will have a fire explosion expert coming in to look at the conflagration and see how this explosion actually came about. We will have an emergency response people to look at the emergency response to see what all was done, the calls to the 911 operator, the thoroughness of the response, the immediacy of the response, and human performance. That's basically looking at how humans perform. Did the people in the control center act appropriately once this pipeline ruptured? So those are the types of things that our groups will be looking at.
Take one more question. Is there any indication that this particular pipeline, obviously the gas is shut off at this point, that it is any timeline of when that may be on or who that's affecting?
The question is there any indication when, how many people are being affected by the gas line being shut off, and I do not know how many people are being affected by that, but I think by tomorrow afternoon we're going to have a lot more answers than we have right now. We're just now getting on site. We will hit the ground running literally at daylight tomorrow, put in a good full day in the field, and then come back and report to you what we're finding. So I want to thank you all, and we'll look forward to talking to you over the next couple of days. Thank you very much.